Hello everyone. This is Miss V and we're back and we're talking this time about World War One, the causes and course of the war. How did it start and how did it transpire inside once the war started? So let's talk about that now. Alright, so whenever we discuss the war, World War One, there's a certain acronym or mnemonic device that we can use to remember the causes of the war. So in this case, I want you to remember MANIA. So MANIA stands for militarism, alliances, nationalism, imperialism, and assassination. And these are the causes or the things that caused World War One. Okay, let's get into each one. So militarism, this is when a nation's armed forces comes to dominate the country's national policy, or they focus really hard, or they put all of their time and attention and money into building up the nation's armed forces. And this is what happened during this time period. Many European countries started to build up their armed forces because of industrialization. They have new weapons. Now they have new shipbuilding methods. So now they're able to build up their military. And as you see here, if you answer your question in your guided notes, you would notice that Germany is the one that has the highest expenditures or military expenditures between 1910 and 1914. So the causes of World War One, alliances, right? So that's the next part in our acronym. So alliances are countries that basically agree to help each other if they are attacked by an aggressor. So they sign treaties saying basically, hey, if I get attacked, then you're going to pledge your support, and vice versa. Okay, much like what we have in our own lives in today's society or anything like that, in terms of having a friend that gives you support, right? All right, so according to this political cartoon here on the right, who do you think is an ally of Serbia? So if you look at the political cartoon here, you will notice that this says Austria, here's Serbia, this is Germany, this is France, and this person in the back represents Great Britain. But here's Russia. If you read the captions here, Serbia is being picked on by Austria. And in this case, Austria did want to have imperialistic control over Serbia, right? Russia is an ally of Serbia, so they have jumped in, as you see here. If you hit that little feller aisle, they jumped in to help Serbia. So your answer here would be Russia. Russia is an ally or has an alliance with Serbia. Alright, so as we progress in the war, there was alliances, right? And these are the triple alliance. This is how, during the war, this is the alliances that formed in the beginning. So we have Germany, Italy, and Austria-Hungary. And below here are the leaders of each country during that time. Kaiser Wilhelm II, Antonio Salandra of Italy, and Emperor Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary. And now on the other side, we have the Triple Entente, and that is Great Britain, France, and Russia. So King Emperor of George V was of Great Britain, Raymond Poincaré was of France, and Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. So nationalism. Nationalism is having pride and patriotism in your nation. But in terms of World War One, nationalism wasn't just having that pride and saying, yes, I feel great to be a part of Great Britain, or I feel great to be a part of Germany, etc., etc. They took it to another level, and it became very aggressive, and it had a lot of tension behind it. Mainly so because a lot of these nations in Europe wanted to have independent countries, or they wanted to establish themselves as independent, especially in the areas where there was a lot of ethnic groups, such as the Serbians, the Czechs, and the Slavs. They all wanted their independence. Another cause of World War One is imperialism. So because of the Industrial Revolution, remember, raw materials and new markets, right? M&M. they wanted exclusive control in certain areas, particularly Africa and Asia, mostly Africa, right? So a lot of these European powers, except Austria and Russia, they're fighting to have colonies or to have control in Africa, especially Africa. The only places, European nations that did not imperialize in that area was Austria and Russia. So this is the spark. So when we talk about a spark, we have to talk about the actual event that caused an event to occur, right? Or the actual thing. So in this case, it's assassination. So this is the thing, like the lighter that on a fuse or a match that created the fire, right? So this match that lighted the fire in World War I was this assassination. And this guy here, Gavrilo Princip, assassinated this guy right here with the arrows pointing. Archduke Franz Ferdinand was the heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary in 1914. And the reason why Princip assassinated Franz Ferdinand, because he believed that Bosnia should belong to Serbia. Austria-Hungary was interested in having control over Bosnia, but Serbia believed that Bosnia should stay with Serbia, okay, or should annex with Serbia. Which leads us to why there was a powder keg in that area. So the powder keg is known as the Balkans, and hopefully you have, or you're going to have a map so that you know where the Balkans are located during this time of the 1900s, or 1913, 1914 era, before World War I. So in the Balkans, there was a lot of trouble brewing, as you see here in this political cartoon, right? They're almost reaching a boiling point here, where there's so much tension happening in that area because a lot of those countries, or those nations rather, wanted to be independent. However, Austria had a different idea. They wanted to incorporate a lot of the ethnic groups that's within their country under one large empire as well. So both sides are kind of fighting for control. Serbia is more fighting for their independence and establishing themselves as a separate, independent, large country. So Austria was determined on not letting this happen. So because of that, there's a lot of tension that's happening in those Balkan areas, and it's about to bloom. Okay. So at this point, this is kind of the point of no return. So because of that assassination attempt, Austria blames Serbia for the Archduke Ferdinand's death and declares war on Serbia. Germany then pledges their support to Austria-Hungary because they are allies. Russia pledges their support to Serbia because Serbia and Russia are allies, right? Germany, of course, because now that Russia is in the game, they declare war on Russia. So Germany is now declaring war on Russia. And because Russia is in this war now, France jumps in because they're allies and pledges their support for Russia. Germany was like, you ain't supposed to be in this, France. Why you up in here? And Germany then says, well, we're declaring war on France, right? So because they declared war on France, and now France is in this game, or in this situation, Germany decides to invade France and to try to get to Russia to go through Belgium in order to get through France, right? That wasn't a great idea because Great Britain is an ally of Belgium, and now Great Britain declares war on Germany for invading Belgium, okay? And now, because of all of this, this starts World War I, right? So World War I now begins. Thank you for tuning in to the causes of World War I. Join me for the next section, the course of World War I.